All right, lesson 5, warm-up, fill in the blank. The reciprocal of positive 2 is a half. Remember that the 2 is over 1, so the reciprocal is a vocabulary word that means flip it upside down. And the opposite of 2 is a negative 2. So reciprocal has to do with how it's a numerator and a denominator. And opposite has to do with whether it's positive or negative. And the opposite reciprocal of a positive 2 is a negative 1/2. So the negative stays. Okay. Slope-intercept formula of a line. Y equals mx plus b. Y-intercept is where? Where the line of the graph goes through the y-axis. That's why. Boom. That's where it goes through, with a symbol of B, and it's 0B where it goes through. It's really important when you're graphing to find that first. The slope formula is m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. The point slope formula is y minus y1 equals m x minus x1. Memorize these 3 things. Okay. Find the equation of a line that goes through these points. This is point 1. This is point 2. They use the slope formula, so negative 2 minus a minus 3 over top of a 5 minus 7. That's one big plus. So that's a positive 1. 5 minus 7 is a negative 2. So my slope is a negative 1/2. This equation, let's see, this equation right here, P of n, that looks like a rate, right? The equation is in, it's in slope-intercept form. Slope-intercept form, with the P and N being used instead of the Y. That means this is my M, this is my X, and this is my B. So that number is the y-intercept, and the symbol is B in the formula, and the unit is, let's see, this is, I should never read the problem, let's see, following equation represents population changes. So the unit is people. The negative is the rate or the slope, and its symbol is M. It is in, let's see, population changes, so N must be, it goes down. So look at this. This is a rate that's decreasing. If that's the start population, it's decreasing this much per year. So people, towns dying, it's going down 1,500 people a year. And is being used instead of the X in the formula. This problem represents growth rate, declining. So let's put growth. In this problem, it represents, hang on. Stay on task here. N is being used instead of X in the formula. In this problem, the X represents the number of years. Is it growing or declining? It's declining because our slope is negative. If nothing changes, what would the estimate of the population in this town be in 5 years from now? So, I don't know, we need, let's see, so that means 5 years from now. The slope is negative 150 times 5 years from now if it started at that number. So you crunch all that through and you don't have to write the P of 5 thing. Let's get rid of that. That's just function notation, right? That just stands for, the whole thing stands for a Y, but we're going to put P in this problem. So you put this all together, you crunch order of operations, say just this first, add that to it, P is going to give you, so the population in 5 years would only have, that many people, okay? All right, let's practice. Solve for Y. Write final answer in slope-intercept form. We're just turning things around. I need Y alone. That means we don't touch it. We move the 3x term to the other side by adding its opposite. Make it go away. These are not like terms. We're not going to add them together. So that's put them in slope-intercept form. So that means move the 4 to the right. Right? What is slope-intercept form? Y equals mx plus b. That's what the slope, everything needs to be in. So now to get my y alone, y equals negative 3 halves x plus 2. Done. Let's see, this one here. Here is my y. I want to get it alone, so I'm going to add 4x to both sides. Negative y equals 4x plus 4. Move that 4 over. This is not done yet. If you got to divide by each term. So a negative 1 divided by a negative 1 is a positive 1. A positive 4 divided by a negative 1 is a negative 4x. A positive 4 divided by a negative 1 is a 4. That is harder to say than do. All right. Here's my y, so I'm moving this by adding 2x. 4y equals 2x plus 12. Need to put the x term next to the equal sign. Move that b down, okay? Or what's going to be part of the b. All right, y equals 2/4 reduced is 1/2 plus 12 divided by 4 is 3. All right, move 3. Divide by that. Y equals, negative over negative is a positive. Negative over negative is a positive. All right, what is this stuff? This one looks weird, doesn't it? That needs to go away. It still says solve for y. So that needs to go over here. This needs to go over there. That'll be left with 3y on this side. And put this in slope-intercept form. So 4x minus 6 on this side. And that's it for the warm-up.